everybody to our So Spiritual and transCODES explainer videos. My name is Jona Bryndis. I'm a professional energy healer and energy coach. And this is what I do. I take spiritual subjects and break them down for you as energetically sensitives and empaths. And today I want to talk about the 10 worst habits that empaths have. If you want to really work your life and no longer feel like life is happening to you and wake up with anxiety, in the morning, then you need to walk up. And the first step is always to admit reality. So this is why, being true to yourself is the energy tip. And let's look at the 10 worst habits of empaths. Okay, I hope you have fun with this. All right, I can laugh about each and every of these points that I'm going to make for you. There are some general habits that we have as empaths and energetically sensitives that are completely unaware to us. And they're very understandable. It's a form of naivete. And that is, number one, to assume that everybody sees the world or feels the world just like we. To assume that everybody's energetically sensitive. To assume that everybody feels the same way as we do. And especially if you're an empath, that everybody is empathetic. Many of you found out the hard way that is not the case. Another general problem or bad habit of empaths is to assume that everybody wants to be healed, that everybody wants to be better, that everybody wants to be nice. All right, that isn't the case either. But let's look at some of these 10 habits here that I could sort of distill out of my energy coaching work that I see the most with you guys. Number one, distraction. Distraction, distraction, distraction. Willingly letting ourselves get pulled into other people's dramas and thinking we're doing them a service while disregarding our own needs. And as a result of that, then, feeling unsupported ourselves, feeling like we always have to do this, and feeling a little resentful too sometimes. Distraction is the number one reason why we as empaths never really get to find out what it is that we truly want in life and how we want it, because we are so busy with trying to fix and trying to compensate for everything else that we never really have enough energy left to focus on ourselves. Number two bad habit for empaths is lack. Constantly thinking about what we don't have enough of, what we didn't get enough of, ruminating of what we would do if we only had that which we don't have. This is this is energizing lack. That's why so many empaths, and especially the healer empaths, have a problem with money, because you constantly focus and energize what you don't have, whether it's love, whether it's money, whether it's, better conditions, it doesn't matter. Number three, overcommitting. Out of fear to say no, out of the fear of confronting somebody else or making somebody else feel bad, we tend to overcommit, and that leads to us not effectively managing our own resources. So what happens, we get depleted, and then comes the whole entire cascade of depletion, which can cause anxiety, which can cause depression, which can cause all kinds of things for us, not realizing that it was us that committed to all these things. Often overcommitting also comes from the codependency part in us that secretly wishes to get something back, to get validation or to get attention or to get some kind of support from others back. And this is then, again, part of this distraction. Then we focus too much on what we're not getting back and how we are being victimized and so forth. If you stop to commit to all people who want something from you, you won't feel that way. So this requires you to really learn how to draw a line and how to manage your own resources better. Number 4, procrastinating. Yes, not doing what's essential while deluding ourselves that it's better if we wait. Okay, that's a big one. And this can also pull you into laziness or give you the justification for laziness. But really what you need to look at is, does whatever it is that you need to do, like say pay a speeding ticket, or do your taxes, or do what you promise somebody else to do that you don't really want to do, is this going to get better by procrastinating, by delaying it? Or are you just sort of dragging and prolonging the pain until you finally do it? Number 5, mystifying life. Okay, this is unfortunately something, and I did it too, constantly seeing signs in everything, but not realizing how we only see the signs that we want to see. We only see the things that support our views. And while I'd be the first one to recommend you to pay attention and to to tune into how your body, how your environment, and so forth responds to the tendency that we have as energetically sensitives is to mystify it, to externalize it. All right, that's a big problem here. All right, because that does not allow you to discern reality. It confuses and then distracts you again. All right. Number 6, not listening to your inner guidance. So yeah, if you actually pay attention to, your inner sensations, your inner lexicon, right? Your feelings, your emotions, your thoughts, and you learn to witness them, then you can discern them. And then, you can see signs more clearly. Then you should listen to them. But not listening to them is, one of those really, really bad habits that we have. Okay? Wondering why we get sick in the presence of people that make us sick. Not following through with our inner guidings, knowing exactly what it is that we need to do and not listening to it. What do you think you are communicating back to yourself? This is not based on self-love. This is not based on self-care. All right, this is basically communicating to your inner guidance that you ignore it, that you don't want to hear it. Number 7, repressing anger or feeling guilty for having anger, or feeling disrespected, or feeling guilty when you see people do things that you really disagree with, feeling guilty for judging others. You can look at people's actions and have a clear opinion about this. You don't need to feel guilty about this. This isn't the same as judging other people. All right, you can have your own stance, let others have theirs, but if it affects you, okay, it's really important that you listen to your inner anger, all right, and that you express it. Not expressing anger leads to depression and anxiety, okay? So you can't ignore this as part of your inner signals either. Number 8, backpedaling. Okay, so I've already mentioned the fear of confrontation, the fear of making people feel bad. Well, this goes a step further, like say you repressing your anger, and you're not doing what you want to do, and you overcommit, and you let you get yourself distracted and all these things, right? And you say something, and then somebody, comes at you and say, oh, you're just making this up, or that's just, in your mind or whatever, and then backpedaling and even making excuses for others. All right, that's a very, very common bad habit for empaths, making excuses for other people's shortcomings. Yes, it's beautiful that we can see the other point of view, but we got to know where our stance is, and we got to keep our field, our space clean. We've got to be able to stand up for ourselves. If you catch yourself backpedaling, guys, I recommend you correct this. Say, I know I said this and this and this, but I felt this out again, and I need to change what I said, or I'm sorry, committed, but I can't actually do it. This is not backpedaling. Correcting is not the same as backpedaling. Backpedaling is when you disregard your own views and your own stance, and you do it because you don't want to upset the other, or because you're afraid of what they think of you. And number 9 is accepting toxicity as normal. So many of us know which people are toxic for us, which places, which relationships, with which work, what work and so forth is not really good for us. But just because, you are so trained in toxicity, all right, doesn't mean that you have to accept this as normal. I've talked about this. Your ego will trick you into this familiarity, okay? And you'll think that, you can handle it. You can fix it. That's a big, big mistake, all right? Toxic is toxic. It doesn't matter how much practice you have with dealing with toxic people or toxic places. It's still toxic, okay? And then last but not least, guys, number 10, bad habit of empaths is trying to heal others or trying to convey truth to others, forgetting to ask them if they even want to be healed, if they even want truth. Okay, this is what gets you into trouble a lot of times, because you don't understand why they don't want to know this, or why they don't, want to take this on. And then you push harder and harder and harder, not realizing how you are actually infringing, how you are actually attacking them energetically. All right. So these are the most common bad habits of empaths, and if you can stay away from them, if you can, remind yourself of them, like maybe work on one of these things every week, okay, you're automatically gonna feel better. You automatically be better equipped to deal with outer energies, deal with other people, deal with collective energies, and you no longer will feel as a victim, okay? So these are my energy tips for you here today. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Don't forget to push the like button, subscribe to my email list, and I'm looking forward to talking to you next week. Bye-bye.